We have another call. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes, hello. Can I have a question, please?
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Brother Hamza, it's great seeing you on this show, and I thank Bahrain TV for hosting you tonight.
Thank you.
I just have a brief question. I was
Go
just
ahead.
wondering the services that your institute in America, what is...
The Zaytuna Institute.
Yeah, the Zaytun Institute.
Yes.
What are the programs that they are doing, and how can we contribute in those these kind of institutes that are abroad in the States or in Canada or what have you? How can I be a part of it as a Muslim? How can I I feel that I'm in a closed community when I'm just living in one area, and I try to go abroad, and I think these people, the Muslims in these countries, I've been to South America, I've been to China, and I found Muslims there that I'm really proud when I hear them read the Quran. I go without saying that when I hear them reading, they read better than us that have an Arabic tongue. So I really want to be involved and know how this would. How can I?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Before we answer the caller from Saudi Arabia, I have also another question which might be in a way related to it. You spoke once, for example, that you should revive the traditional Muslim schools and teachings, and that's maybe one of the goals and objectives of your institute, the Zaytuna Institute. Why is it so important, in your opinion, to revive such kind of teachings?
Well,
what's so good about them?
Yeah, I think part of what's good about them is one of the tragedies of human beings is reinventing the wheel, is attempting to do what's already been done in some new, innovative way. I think what a lot of Muslims don't realize is that for centuries Muslims had an extraordinary system of education which was basically dismantled. It was actually dismantled prior to colonialism. It began with the Ottoman Tanzimat, which were an attempt to compete with Europe in the early 19th century. And they began to change the school system to make it more in accordance with Western schooling. And I think there's an English saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That in attempting to clean up the Islamic education, they actually ended up throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So I think what's happened is that although the traditionalism that existed in the Muslim world did enter into a state of there was neglect there was jumud, there was a lack of innovation, a lack of renewal, and that was a problem. But at the essence of the system was an extraordinary way of imparting a really broad spectrum of knowledge within, say, 12 years of very intense studying. So, for instance, in Arabic, to give you an example, now in the Muslim world you have Arabs that will take Arabic for 12 years. They'll come out of a secondary school, and if you ask them a basic question about Arabic grammar, they can't answer. If you said just give me the grammatical analysis of qama zaydun wa qa'ada amrun, they don't know how to do that. Whereas if you take somebody in Mauritania, where I studied, one of the places where I studied in Mauritania, the students there will study a basic text in 2 months, memorize it and learn its commentary, and be able, with great facility for the rest of their life, to tell you what qama zaydun is and what qa'ada amrun is. And I think that the effectiveness of these traditional means is overwhelming. And that's why, because I had the good fortune of studying with some traditional scholars, it really gave me a desire to bring this to the West. And I think, alhamdulillah, I mean, that's at the essence of what the Institute is about.
So how can people help or with the works of the Institute, like our caller?
There's a website. People can take a look at the website if they're interested in coming and visiting. We welcome any visitors. I think that there's a lot of good institutions in the West. I think that there needs to be more support, prayer, and both moral and material support, because I think that one of the things about people that are calling for a jihad against the West forget is that what precedes jihad, and according to Imam Malik radiallahu anhu, it's an obligation to call people to Islam. You can't fight a people that you haven't told them what the message.
So actually, in a way, we are to blame if the West is ignorant about Islam.
I think so, and it's interesting. I'll tell you a very interesting fact to me that a lot of people are unaware of. Da'wah which is calling people to Islam, is in the Bab al-Jihad in books of fiqh. It's actually part of jihad. Da'wah, calling people to Islam, is part of the struggle of Islam. And I think it's interesting that the weapon of the tongue, which is a very powerful weapon. I mean, in English we say the tongue is mightier than the sword, or the pen is mightier than the sword. I think that we've forgotten that. And also this fear of the other. Traditionally, the Muslims were not afraid to enter into real dialogue with other traditions. And I think also one of the beauties of Islam is the pluralistic nature of Islam. The fact that Islam allows people to have this freedom of conscience, that la ikraha fi din, you know, أَفَأَنْتَ تُكْرِهُ النَّاسِ حَتَّى يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do you think that you can force people to be believers? I think one of the tragedies, for instance, we saw in Afghanistan is people happy to take off the burqa and to shave their beards and things like this. I think that what happens when you force people to do these things, you get rad fi'l, you get this reaction, which is where they actually begin to really rebel. They want to rebel against it. And I think you can find that in some of the Muslim countries where there is that type of enforcement. On the other hand, the Prophet ﷺ worked 13 years just really rooting the Islamic belief and understanding in the hearts of his people. And then when they moved to Medina, that's when the ahkam, the rulings began to be revealed after 13 years of preparation. So they were filled with iman. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited wine, they smashed their wine.
But they were actually prepared for it.
Absolutely, they wanted to do it.
Mr. Hamza, well, we thank you for being our host. Time's run out. We thank you again for being. We had a very interesting discussion. And we wish you best of luck in your institute and in your works. Dear viewers, thank you for being with us today on Highlights. And we hope to see you next week. Thank you.